Hello, and welcome. Welcome to Rich New Design. I am Cartoon Rich Newberry, and we are here. We are here today to watch Cointelegraph, their market report. It's getting ready to start. Let me transition on over there, and we'll watch the show, shall we? All right, here we are. Here we are. Let me get their sound going. Let me get everything going. Let me get everything rolling for our big program. They're gonna do the show. It's starting 19 seconds. This is Cointelegraph, their channel, Cointelegraph.com. I wanted to work for them. But they went with someone else. And but I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all. I love this show. Actually, I do love this show. Actually, it is a good show. I do rather enjoy it. I need to get both my earbuds in, so maybe I'll be able to hear this. Or if maybe that earbud was all the way in, I'd be able to hear it. But say hi in the comments. Head over to Cointelegraph if you want to.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Market Report. I am your host, Benton, and we are joined yet again by our resident
Click
editor,
like.
Jordan Finisette. Marcel Peckman is back this week, and we have Sam Borg here as well. Jordan uses back.
Hello, all. I like to stay active in the chat. I like to stay active.
Editor at Cointelegraph, where he brings a decade of experience in economic analysis and financial market writing. Marcel
These are the four regulars:
17 years of experience trading derivatives, options, and futures.
Benton, Jordan, Sam, and Marcel.
Week in crypto, and yet here we are again. Everyone's still standing.
I don't know how they do it.
On the faces this week. What's going on?
Smiles.
Kick us off this week, man. How we feeling?
How are they smiling?
I
Let
feel
me
the
bring
same
up
as
the
I did
volume.
last week. I mean, nothing's really changed. Crypto winter's gonna go on forever, so it's like just stick in for the long
Crypto
haul.
winter is going to go on
Find the
forever.
tokens
You
want
gotta
to
love
accumulate,
this.
Dollar cost
You gotta
average, that's
friggin'
just my
love this.
opinion, and just kind of realize that this is a long-term game we're playing here.
Have you been getting outside, Jordan? That's the real question.
Has he been getting
So every
outside?
day, man, every day.
Jordan, that's his advice
Good
every week.
deal.
His
Sam,
advice
what's going
every
on this
week
week?
is,
How we feeling
hey,
about things?
get outside. Go do something.
Jordan mentioned
Sam's
crypto winter,
pragmatic.
right? And I'm from Canada. It's winter 9 months out of the year, so I'm used to winter. You know, you're
Bada
gonna have to
boom,
do a
bada
lot
bing.
more to get me down at this point. But
Oh,
as
it's
Jordan
gonna
mentioned,
take
there's
more.
really no changes in market sentiment, no changes in expectations. We're still status quo. It's a pretty mediocre market out there, and
It's gotta suck
again,
doing
remind
this show,
yourself
right?
why you're in it in the first
Right
place.
now, with the way crypto
If you're
is,
not prepared to hold for a longer term to realize your investment thesis, is probably not the market for you. Let's put it that way.
I gotta agree with him there. I gotta agree.
Right.
It's
Gotta
a
have
good
those
buy,
hands,
but only if you're
your
looking at it
conviction
down the
behind what
road
we're
a
doing
couple
here.
years.
Marcel, glad to have you back.
'Cause who
this
knows how
week.
bad this is
What's
gonna
your
get.
take? Where are we at this week? Anything
Marcel,
changed,
no, he's-
from what you see.
He's crazy.
I think
Marcel's
the
crazy.
biggest change is that everybody is trying to look for a scapegoat, and right now it seems that the BTC maxis are the ones, so they are the one responsible for Voyagers and Celsius and Terra Luna. So okay, if you need a scapegoat, beat the BTC maxis, but it's not our fault. You gotta learn to hold your own keys, to hold your own coins. Even if you hold altcoins, don't give it away for a meager 5% or 10% yield per year. Hold your coins. That's the most important message.
Well, there you go.
Alright,
There you
so
have
we're
it.
gonna
Hold
hear
your
from
coins,
our panel of
not
experts.
your
Got a
keys,
super exciting
not
show
your
this
wallet.
week. We're going to be diving into some big
Isn't
headlines.
that the phrase? Isn't that
Talking
the
about
phrase?
the euro
Somebody
dollar
tell
parity
me.
this week.
Somebody
which is
tell
gonna
me
be
if that's the
interesting. I know
phrase.
CPI reports coming out
Not my
tomorrow,
keys,
the
not my
13th,
wallet.
from
These guys
the
are
Fed,
awesome.
So that should be
This is
interesting.
Cointelegraph.
People are speculating around this. It's
Cointelegraph.
gonna be higher than what we
I'll
saw
get the.
last
Let
month
me put it
or
in the
lower.
chat.
We're going to talk about that and dive into this. But first
Let me
things
put
first,
this
we
in the
have our
chat.
market roundup.
So if you want to
Weekly
actually
roundup here
watch the
to dive
guys
into
without
what's happening around the Twitter
without me,
sphere.
the
And I
idiot
want to
in the
shout out
background
to
here.
all of our loyal viewers that are watching and tuning in from around the globe.
me go
Tell us
ahead.
where you are tuning
Oh.
in from. We'd love to have you here every Tuesday, and we appreciate you being here. Great show lined up for you. So let's go ahead
Watching
and
you
jump
live
into our weekly roundup for this week.
on my channel while I'm an ant. but it goes a little quick, and they ask you to read. They could have somebody read that. You know, what if I'm just listening? What if I'm listening? It wouldn't take that long to just, you know, beforehand. Go ahead and just do that. But we got a link to this. Yeah. Check out this music. They've got a pretty good production here. And I believe they're using, because everything in the background and from the layout with the cameras and everything else, I'm fairly certain this is StreamYard they're using. Because StreamYard, it just handles, if you got to handle those cameras, it just seems a little smoother than what I go through with OBS Ninja here on OBS. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. They didn't hire me. They didn't give me a job. So now I watch them while animated. And I think, what could have been? What should have been? I don't know. Here we go. Show's going.
So another slight this week, all the way up to about 22 for Bitcoin, but now we're hovering back around 20K. Is this the price floor? You saw the headlines. People are buying Cardano. There may be some trouble with Ethereum, some price breakdowns, imminent. We're going to talk about that today and dive into it. But if you haven't liked and subscribed, go ahead and do so now. YouTube, Cointelegraph. We're here Tuesdays, 12 p.m. Eastern for the market report. Don't forget, we're going to be giving away a $100 worth subscription to Markets Pro. Drop your Twitter handle in the chat.
How about $100?
In the show, we're going to select our winner.
What's that worth in?
This is worth in cash for you all. Make sure you drop your Twitter handle in there, and you can free money. If it's free money, for itself, and I'll take that in hundreds. So make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end of the show today, where we will select that Markets Pro winner.
It's a Markets
Adrian,
Pro
do we have
winner.
Memes today? We're going to jump
Wouldn't I need
into
money
memes first things first
in order to take advantage of Markets Pro, or do I just want to? Do I just want to know how much I'm not making or not losing? Is that what it is?
Let's see, crypto expert. That's about right.
It's
all these
time.
Experts. We all got speculations.
I see myself there. I'm calling the 47,000 bottom for Bitcoin. That's me.
It's gonna be. Dad, why is my sister's name NFTs? Because she was our second biggest mistake. No problem. NFTs. That's another one.
Right, hey, NFTs, non-fungible token, or
that's about
not
right.
Fucking tangible. Think about it. Think about it. I don't make it up. It's not me. I'm not the one doing it.
Banned. Let's be real.
Oh.
Start buying NFTs. Did you take both of them?
Oh, they're loving it. The
really
memes. This is what they got to do. Because what are you going to do if you're doing news? What are you going to do if you're doing crypto news right now? If you're doing crypto news,
this is a good one.
well, you just it's all shit right now. Crypto news is all crap right now.
That's great. Good memes. All right.
You got nothing but hold your coins. Hold your coins. Hold. It's great in a couple years. That's what they can tell you.
Check the chat.
They can hope.
See who's tuning in. Rich New Design's back. We got Jackson here. Dinesh.
Yes, Rich New Design is back.
Marcus, Adrian, and Quudis. Thanks for tuning in today. Love having you.
I'm over on my channel, guys. I'm over on my channel, hanging out, watching.
We're going to touch on it.
I got a link to you.
If you have questions, our panelists and experts will answer them. And
I have questions.
Throughout the show.
I have questions.
Drop your comments, your
thoughts.
Is there
anybody at Cointelegraph that needs somebody that can do some graphics work?
Throughout the show.
That's my question, Cointelegraph.
Into some of the biggest
I want to work for Cointelegraph. Why am I not working for Cointelegraph?
We have Bitcoin risk new lows as 20K.
I already have the coffee mugs.
Amid dollar-euro parity.
I've won those. It's the only thing I've won in forever.
I want to quickly highlight Arthur Hayes,
Cointelegraph coffee mugs.
The start of the fiat currency doom loop with the USD euro parity. We're going to dive into what does this parity actually mean this week.
The parity between
we
the
saw
dollar and the
Bitcoin
euro
kind of rebound a little bit, and then it started to lose some steam over the last 48 hours, and now we're hovering.
It's not called rebound.
Folks
this is feeding. This is
20,300.
This is whale feeding.
I want to also highlight another quote here. So fire charge saw some bid liquidity in close range, but it may not
Everything's
be enough.
going
Price
down
falls below this trend line. Prepare
Everything
for new lows.
take it.
This seems like a
take it from the cartoon guy that doesn't
outlook.
know a fucking thing.
But first,
take it from the cartoon guy, me, who doesn't know a thing.
What is the significance?
Bitcoin's
of
going further down.
With the euro?
Maybe not right now. The people, it's just some guys feeding off of the other people as the other shit coins lose their investors. What are people doing? Well, they got to move this somewhere. They move to Bitcoin.
Take a look at the
Some
US
of that
dollar
money
index,
is
the
not going
XY.
straight into Tether and then
Compares
straight to the
US
bank.
dollar against
Some of
the
that money's
basket
going
of
over to
currencies, but
Bitcoin
mostly the euro.
because they're like,
Euro
oh,
has the
I
highest
think we
weighting,
got a bump
one
coming.
half of the
And really,
DXY.
that's the only way you can
So
make
we're
any money
seeing
right
the
now,
US dollar
is
has
if you're
been
doing day
rising
trading and you're just
substantially over the
following
past
where
6
the
or 7
whales.
months.
But the thing
The
is, they'll do
DXY
this shit
just
at
hit
3 a.m.
multi-decade highs above 108, I believe. So
I should listen.
what this
shouldn't I?
shows is that Europe is screwed in a lot of sense. This war in Ukraine and the Russia spillover
Yes.
effect in gas prices, oil prices. A lot of
Totally.
economies in Europe
Everything
are really
bad.
vulnerable to what's happening, especially Germany, which is the economic engine of the euro. I believe they recently posted a trade deficit, if I recall correctly, which is not unlike Germany. So overall, it just shows that everyone is piling into the US dollar. So it's probably the best of the worst fiat currency to hold these days, as investors continue to look at it as
The
actually
best
being
of the
a
worst,
risk-off
with
asset.
the best being
That's the perception.
what?
I think that
Steak?
the euro right now is doing too well
You can-
because of that.
You
And it's gonna
put
be
your money
interesting
in
to
steak.
see
Get steak.
How much
You'll have to
further
keep it
falls
frozen,
and
but
whether the
steak.
dollar is
Steak
gonna
is going to
lose
be the
its
currency
steam.
of
We'll
the
have
future
to wait
when
and see.
everything else falls.
And also in this article, it got brought up that something about the yield curve control. So central banks would now have no option but to adopt yield curve control, sparking the disintegration of the currency, which could ultimately leave Bitcoin on top as the new global standard. What does yield curve control mean? And can you
How
kind of
is
break
it
that
going to
down
be the
for us?
standard with this kind of volatility?
So when central banks do yield curve control, it's basically when they target a long-term interest rate, and then they go ahead and they buy and they sell as many bonds as necessary to hit that target. So it's not necessarily the safest strategy. I don't know what the ramifications of that are going to be. Regarding whether this is going to be a boon to Bitcoin, I'm not quite sure yet. We've been talking about how Bitcoin is supposed to succeed during these perilous times.
Sam's a
We
guy
haven't
that
seen
knows
that
his
yet.
shit.
In fact,
I like
the
Sam.
best hedge seems to be holding cash, believe it or not. As crazy as that sounds, if you decided
Holding
that you wanted
cash.
to, if you were concerned about inflation,
2022.
of the year,
Holding cash
if
is
you held
crazy.
dollars, you would lose 9% of your purchasing power. But if you bought Bitcoin,
Get everything
you'd get
in,
a lot more than that. Which is
get
the
everything in,
ironic thing about all
in
that.
Bitcoin.
So in the short term, it really hasn't served as an inflation hedge. People are still piling into cash as a haven asset. I
It
don't
is
think
a
it's sustainable
risk
in the long term,
asset.
but for now, that seems to be the
A
paradigm.
fun one.
In terms of Bitcoin
And
adoption,
one where you can
I
make
guess it's
great
happening
money.
behind the
And
scenes.
it
The
is the
long-term dollars are
future.
still here, but I
Bitcoin,
don't see Bitcoin
blockchain,
filling any
blockchain.
of that need or filling any of that niche.
We're
anytime
just
soon as
seeing the
being any
development
kind
of future
haven asset.
technologies.
So
This is
I'd
what
be
we're
skeptical about those
apps.
narratives. I know I've
Everything's
learned my
going to be.
lesson not to
We're
really
just
pile myself into that
creating
kind
a
of
new
narrative.
layer like
So
HTML was
you have to
when
wait
they
to
brought
see
the
for
browser.
what's going to happen over the next 6 to 12 months.
Marcel, you've been biting your lip here. Go ahead and jump in. I want to hear your thoughts.
Marcel's
and
going to let
takes
us
here.
all know. It's
No,
going to
I
go to
just wanna
60
highlight that
in a month.
gold as well.
He
hasn't
doesn't.
been really
I'm
surfing at
just
the
giving him a
level
hard
in the
time. I'm
past
just giving him a hard
months or
time.
weeks.
He's going to take
It
some shots
touched
at metals.
$2,000, but quickly dropped to $1,700. So even gold, which you
Because the best thing, the best way to right now, if your
So
job
I
is to
kinda
deliver
agree with
crypto
Sam.
news,
as crazy
well,
as
all
it
you
seems
can
right
hope to
now,
do
holding
is
US dollars cash
is
seems
continue
like
to
the best option
take
in the
shots
past.
at
I don't know
take shots
why
at.
or
I
how,
mean,
but
gold and silver, the dollar.
Is that what the world has come to?
Just let everyone know that everything is shit. Everything is shit.
Marcel,
have to hold cash.
I'm also curious to learn.
It kind of really does destroy the whole decentralized goal here. But hey, things happen.
I think it's the flight.
It's a perfect storm in this world right now.
Afraid,
it's crazy.
They don't think about returns. They think about what is the safest asset. Because when you buy gold, you don't really get the physical bars. So you don't know if the gold exists or if the bank that is holding the gold is going to continue existing or not. So when investors fear that the imminent collapse or a global crisis is coming their way, they want US treasuries because they know the US government will not default on them. They want US dollar bills or in a bank account or cash at home because they know that that money, that value will not disappear because they've been trusting the government for the past 100 years and it has been working so far. So maybe for the next 6 months it's going to be.
Because if you put your money in gold,
surely not
you can't go down and buy milk.
Because we know that US
can't buy milk with gold.
Continue to print money out of the crisis. There's
at least not around here.
So it will devalue everybody who has been holding cash. But for now, for the short term, it has been.
It's a really fucked up situation in all sectors right now. I mean, unless you own oil.
What does this doom loop mean?
And
I guess
bully.
I'm curious to hear your take
You're
about the
owning
macro
oil.
environment, the
Look
US
at you
dollar
go.
to euro parity as well. What does that mean for crypto?
Well, I think what they're alluding to is just like the unprecedented nature of what we're like the whole global economic system is going through right now. And I don't think there's anybody alive really that's really gotten to experience like the breadth of different headwinds that the market's facing. But the US dollar has basically turned every other fiat currency into an algorithmic stablecoin that we're all like, we know those don't work. It's not going to work long coin. I saw that meme. I'm like, that's perfect because it has turned all these fiat currencies into algorithmic stablecoins. It kind of makes us crypto people feel better because like, oh, they can't even get this right. Like we can't get it right. They can't get it right. Nobody gets it right. It's just a system.
Nobody gets it right. Everything in our monetary systems, in all the new ones and the existing ones, are all falling apart.
Nobody knows how to respond to this. Everybody's like, gold, Bitcoin,
you know,
dollar. I don't know.
You hear about
really
the shortages in crops.
Which just means like, yeah, like grab your seat, folks.
You know how much pain's coming this year? I'm laughing about it. I'm laughing about it, but
Everett said in chat,
damn, man,
now cash
damn,
is not
it's
trash.
gonna be bad.
I know it's crazy to kind of to be saying that out loud because forever we've been saying cash is trash.
Benton is the leader.
So interesting times.
Benton is the leader of the group.
Now
Benton,
I want to kind of lastly touch on
he tries to
CPI, which is going
he tries to keep the show going. He guides us along into the different segments.
What have you kind of been able to do?
You've got Jordan. Jordan is the resident pessimist or realist. I'll call him realist because I mean it's not his fault. It's not his fault the world is falling apart.
Basically, they're trying to deflect all blame, which is typical what we've been seeing for the past 6 months.
But these guys' job, how must that be? For the last what? It's been all fucking year, but at least the last 3 months. At least the last 3 months, everything has been crap. Everything has been absolute crap. So they gotta every week come out here and try to come up with some reason for people not to jump out a window. Just think, oh, what is going on with this crap?
My thesis that we peak sometime in June, and then the CPI might moderate in the second half of the year. Still extremely high, but maybe not as high as it was earlier in the year. And
I don't know.
It's shocking that gold has underperformed so badly in this environment. I mean, gold has become
really
the ultimate shitcoin, hasn't it? Usually, one of the primary factors that drives gold higher is the level of real interest rates. So rates are rising, but inflation is rising much faster. You'd expect the gold to perform well in this environment, but it hasn't. So as Jordan alluded to earlier, things are breaking right now, and it's very difficult to look at conventional portfolio management. And
you love it when they tell you that.
Now.
Let me.
60-40 portfolio is dead.
No, I don't want to lose the chat.
So it's all a matter of how much damage the Fed can do before it decides to pivot and shift course. I expect that probably will happen sometime next year.
How much damage can the Fed do? The Fed is one. The Fed is one variable in a shitstorm of variables right now, globally. Globally.
Fall out, so the capitulation ongoing, but market's not at the bottom yet, according to Glassnode.
According to everyone,
Bitcoin wealth
there's no way.
From weak hands to
it, it is not at bottom.
Capitulation from retail investors.
I created a meme like a month. I said, is 20,000 to 22,000 the new whale feeding? Because these are people that are just get a little bit of excitement in some people. People are dumping their shit coins. See if we can get some of them to put their money over here into Bitcoin. Oh, people are buying. Hey, this might be the time. Because everybody else is trying to ride those waves from these whales that control how much are going on. And so you grab onto that. Everybody throws their money in. The whale, well, he knows when the dive is happening. He's the one going to initiate it. And so he's like, okay, I made that profit. Boom, sell. Bam, everything falls. Okay, wait till it gets to my comfort zone and boom, hold it back up. And everybody, you know, a lot of people, some people rode that wave. Some people made some money. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people lost, and then they're going, shit, this sucks. Because are you going to do that daily? Are you going to wait to find out what time the whales are going to do their stuff? And so I figured they're continuing because they're pulling their money out of this. They'll keep some, but they're going to own all of it. The whales are going to end up owning just all of it. Not like it isn't already really turned over to where there's way too much. The whales are the ones in charge of everything. And it's only going to get worse as it goes down the bottom. And so hope that it does drop. Hope that there's great opportunities. Hope that this thing, let it knock down to $1. Let it fucking just fall off the fucking place. Now there's no way it can because there's so much built on top of it. Everything would collapse. So much would collapse if that happened. But the lower it is, the more opportunity, because it's gonna end up coming back. It's gonna end up making its way back up to those great heights that it had reached and everything. But that's probably not going to be for another 2 years. But I'll let these guys tell me.
Well, Benton, miners produce 900 bitcoins per day, so I don't think that number compared to what's traded on exchange every day makes a difference. Even if they sell, okay, we're gonna sell the whole monthly production, so I don't know, 4,000 bitcoins like they did in the past. We can sell it in 2 days. Yeah, sure.
Everybody's selling. Everybody's starting to move out.
To $21,000, 10%.
It's just going to happen.
It's not what makes a 6-month crypto winter, like as we're seeing right now, or it's not what causes the Bitcoin price to drop from $45,000 to $20,000. So what's happening?
No, I actually blame myself for that. I actually got into crypto right about the time when it was okay. Now everything's gonna, and so I decided I'm gonna get into crypto, and then boom, hey, where'd that 30% go? What the fuck just happened to my money? But it's a learning curve. But everything I touch dies, and so I got involved, killed the whole market, whole thing's up to me. I just killed it all. If I quit watching the crypto news, I bet the thing would go up. Just because it'd be like, oh, look, I missed that opportunity. It wants to be there to point it out to me, to say, hey, you weren't here. You weren't looking around. You didn't know what was going on. We went ahead and did other things. You're only buying Bitcoin if you got money right now. A lot of people need that money. They don't have money to get. They have invested.
When your mind is a little bit more clear, you start to thinking, okay, so what assets do I think that are worth holding out during a crisis? Is it Amazon? Is it Google? Is it Volkswagen bonds, like they pay me
beans?
A little bit, or
is it bags of beans to feed your family? Because there's nothing on the store shelves. I don't know.
Gives me a negative yield because of inflation. So I get 4% yield,
This-
but inflation is 8 or 9 or
This
6,
sounds like a
whatever.
perfect time for me to remind everybody.
So they start-
Everybody,
that's
click
when they
like
start
and
buying
subscribe,
this
and click that
compounds.
bell.
So I think
You
it's
know,
gonna take a
make
massive
sure that you know
12 months for this.
when I'm going to be going live.
Find a-
I don't always watch these guys, and I'm not always
I mean, the
cartoon.
Glassnode indicated
But this is
miners
live right
hold
now
about
over on Cointelegraph. So
66,900
click the
Bitcoin.
link in the
next
click the
quarter
link in the
remains
chat,
risk
and
of
you can go
further
to it.
distribution unless coin
They know
prices
what they're
recover
talking about.
meaningfully.
But no, I am
Does
live,
66,000
and this
Bitcoin
this
mean
is
anything?
live. This
Or is
thing
that kind
here.
of like a drop in
This
the
is
bucket?
all going live.
If that happens in a week or a couple of weeks, yes, it
I'll
surely
listen
can
to
definitely-
I'll listen
it
to
surely
them a
can
bit.
make
It's all
Bitcoin
pessimism
price
though,
go
because like I
sub
say,
$15,000.
everything's
But
crap
I
in
don't
crypto
think
right now.
There's
I
a
mean,
set
really.
price that
You've
the
just
miners
gotta-
have to. Okay, so now we're forced to sell because
you
some
gotta
miners
walk away.
have the
That'll
cost
be
of
at the
mining
end of the
below
show.
2
Jordan
cents per dollar.
Jordan
So
is
they
going to
can
tell us.
withstand,
He's going to say, just
tougher
walk away.
winters.
Just get
And
some
the miners
fresh
that are
air.
paying, I don't know, 5
This will
cents,
depress you if
6
you
cents,
watch it all day.
their cost
And
of
he's right.
energy costs.
He's
So yeah,
he's
they're being
right.
forced out of the game.
It'll bring you
but
down.
I don't think that is going to happen for the 66,000 to be sold at a single week or 2 weeks. So that's not a concern right now.
Yep.
This article
Yep.
also indicated that we could potentially be towards the tail end of what is this bear market. Sam, what is your take? Are we out anywhere near out of the woods or near a
take
bottom,
it again
and
from
potential markets
the
right now?
animated guy who doesn't know shit.
Well, that's a
Doing
good
this
question.
show
I
right
think,
here. Take it
as
from me.
Jordan
I'm
mentioned,
going to make another
timing bottoms
prediction.
is notoriously
Nope,
difficult. I mean,
you're
there
not
are
at the
some
bottom.
indicators out
It's
there.
going down.
The pi cycle bottom and the pi cycle top have shown to be somewhat more reliable.
Charts don't mean crap
For me,
when the
what I look
globe
at
is on
I look at
fire.
market timing in the 4-year cycle. It was always my expectation that Bitcoin would probably bottom sometime in Q3 or Q4 of 2022. Now, of course, I was expecting a much higher peak. Last year we didn't get that. So for me, looking at the 4-year cycle, we're probably coming up to a bottom, in my opinion, either in Q3 or in Q4. And actually, given the fact that Bitcoin is highly correlated with stocks, and it has been since the Corona crash, I think we're probably gearing up for a very volatile and very ugly fall. September, October are usually really negative months for stocks. There's a seasonality factor in place as
gonna
traders
be
come
ugly.
back from summer vacations. September, October, shit hits the fan those months oftentimes. So I think if you see that in the equity market, if you see another sharp decline September, October as the Fed hikes again in the summer, you could see Bitcoin follow suit. And I'm expecting there to be a bottom sometime there. So that would be my expectation before we can start to see a recovery. So
Maybe
there's a
more.
perfect
We'll see.
cocktail of factors
Like
that
I say,
are
it depends
leading
on
us to
how
potentially a bottom
long the
sometime before the end of
whales
the
want
year,
to take
especially as the
to
risk
feed,
assets, the traditional
because
risk
they're
assets,
feeding on
are
all
going to
the
be vulnerable
people
to a pullback,
shedding
given
their
the
money from the
macroeconomic
shit
backdrop,
coins.
given the Fed, and given all that's happening in monetary policy. That's my expectation moving forward.
Excellent insights from all of our experts here on the panel
Excellent
today,
insight.
and we appreciate you sharing your thoughts. Jordan, you got something to say here?
Yeah, I just had a crypto winter insight after surviving the last one. Like, don't chase a token that pumps. If we're in the middle of crypto winter, even if it's a legitimate pump, it's gonna come back down because there's nothing gonna be sustaining it. If the token you like and it pumps, put on the patient cap, wait till it comes back down to the price it was before the pump, and maybe buy it there. And if you want to play the trading game, get a token. If it pumps, sell it, and if you want it, buy it back. I recently did that with RLC. Like, it went from $1 to $1.26, and I'm like, it's a crypto winner. Sold it. It already fell back to $1. So like, do not. If you, I understand
That's
the
the way it
nature,
is.
but if you're trying to increase your stack, don't
gotta
get so
watch that
attached to
stuff
hodling when a pump comes, especially because the human psychology is
constantly
once the
if
coin
you're gonna
starts
want to
pumping,
be
that's when we
trading
want to
it.
jump in. Don't fall for it. It's crypto winter, folks. It's gonna come back down. All right, you got to get a clear indication that the whole market is moving higher before you want to start buying and holding any coins. So that's my opinion. Investment advice, but
Yes, I did. If you just kind of look around the entire market, there has not been a significant amount of volume, on really any of these coins, including Bitcoin.
Retail
with the exception of a
investors
few days
have
out
had
of the
to
last couple
bail.
months.
So
It's
many
mostly
have
been all
bailed.
sell pressure. So Definitely great advice, which is not financial advice from Jordan there. And once again, these are all the expressed opinions of each individual panelist. They are not the broad sweeping statements of Cointelegraph. We appreciate everyone that's tuning in right now because we got crypto tips coming in next. But I saw some folks drop their Twitter handles in the chat.
I think I need to. I think, yeah. None of my stuff is advice. I am an animated character. If you listen to anything I'm saying and take that as like, oh, well, this guy said, then that's on you. That's on you. Look at me. Look at me. I model my hair after Frank Zappa. Does anybody do that? Does anybody with common sense do that? No. So would you take any financial advice from a guy who's modeling his hair after Frank Zappa with the pigtails? I don't think so. I think that'd be a mistake. So there's my disclaimer. Okay, here we go. Let's get back to the show.
Cryptos that serve a purpose. There are literally thousands of cryptocurrencies you can trade, but many, if not most, of these won't ever amount to anything. Although you may get lucky and make money trading any crypto, if you're looking to build long-term wealth, you'll have to invest in cryptos that have staying power. Read the white papers on any cryptos you plan to invest in to see how they are tied to the blockchain, what their utility is, and how they are better, cheaper, faster than any of their competitors. This is the best way to filter out long-term winners from losers. Another great place to go is their GitHub to read
how
through
many
their
shit
documents.
coins are there still?
And you can read code, make sure.
I know it was like
what these folks are building.
19,000.
I always recommend to check the social accounts as well. So those are kind of three big areas you want to dive into when you're looking at assessing a project for the long term. Is this project going to be around 5 to 10 years from now?
I'm sure there are 19,000 of them left.
Our quick crypto tip for this.
So many of them were just fucking Ponzi's.
And lastly here, let's make sure you like and subscribe our Cointelegraph YouTube channel because we are here. You want to see all of our pretty faces? We're here 12 p.m. on Tuesdays, so like and subscribe.
Every Tuesday, 12 p.m.
Some exciting
market
stuff
report.
For us to dive into.
Most of the time, it's the four of them. Every now and then, somebody's got to actually be on location somewhere, so they'll have somebody else in.
Tell us.
But this is a great show.
And hand this over to Marcel.
I mean, they don't have anything good to say right now because everything's crap in the market, but look at that. Look at that transition.
Thank you, Benton. So let's talk about Tether, the stablecoin, USDT, for a moment. Regardless what you think about the stablecoin, it is extremely important for crypto markets. Firstly, it holds a 66 billion market capitalization. So even if you consider it a regular coin, it ranks number 3 with 50% of the value of Ethereum, for example. But more importantly, it serves as a base currency, a base pair for exchanges, including Bankrupt.
That's got to be on them, right? That's not me.
It can depend.
It's on them.
Out of the dollar, and one.
I think it's Marcel.
It's going to incur losses to, but not the exchange themselves.
I'm not sure where Marcel hails from. I mean, I know he originally is from France, but I don't know if he's based in the U.S. or in Europe.
Suffer losses due to their dependence on the makers.
Okay, it's on them. So I'm coming across. Okay, right, Jess? I'm coming across. Good.
So
that's what I was hoping.
Is the name of the game, and someone has to bridge those different exchanges, centralized and decentralized, and ensure the system works. And that's the market makers. So that's why the exchange give them credits, give them unsecured loans, as we've seen. So how do we measure the Tether stablecoin health? So firstly, we compare the price of the Bitcoin at Binance, OKX, and Huobi, which is based in Tether, versus the price at Coinbase, Kraken, FTX US, which is based in US dollars, so not a stablecoin. So Danilo, can you share my screen, please? So whenever the price of Bitcoin in Tether is above the price at Coinbase and Kraken, it means investors are not paying $1 on the stablecoin. A premium of up to 0.5%, 0.5% is acceptable, and right now, as you can see the chart, Tether is not a concern. So, meaning the price at the Bitcoin price at Binance and OKX is in line with Coinbase, Kraken, FTX, US, the regular USD markets.
Marcel
the
always
main
brings a lot of
indicator
information.
Health is stable right now, so not a worry. Thank you, Danilo.
There are times it seems like it might be a little bit more of a
especially in
more of a
markets outside of the
distraction.
United States. For instance, the Tether price in Chinese yuan, the CNY currency, should be pretty close to the
It's kind of a,
the official
hey,
foreign
look
exchange
at
rate.
this trend,
So the indicator of the Tether in Chinese yuan should trade at 100%.
and then they don't
at
end
all
up panning out
Danilo, can you share my screen, please?
because we're at the end of times, folks. We're at the end of times.
So OKX tracks the Tether price in peer-to-peer markets versus the official currency. It should be trading near 100% at all times, and right now it's trading at 99%, meaning investors are dumping the stablecoin Tether and heading out with cash. So Tether is healthy in Asian markets, but the indicator is telling us that there's a slight selling pressure right now at Tether.
Slight selling pressure.
So from the previous
Yeah,
chart,
it's people
we know
bailing.
that Tether is holding up against Coinbase and Kraken markets. So not to worry over there. But in Asian markets, there's low demand. So Tether is trading at 1% discount. But overall, the Tether indicators are healthy. So not a concern right now.
But that could be different in the near
I know
future.
we talked about this on pre-show, but like, what would mean for like an arbitrager who maybe sees these differences from Asian exchanges to American exchanges? What would be like a good arbitrage opportunity if that percentage slipped from maybe call it 0.5% to 3%? Is that where you may look at potentially doing an arbitrage, or what's kind of like the lever that you might look at for something like that?
Good question, Ben. So if you're talking to Tether, US dollar, it's basically the same currency, even a 0.2% arbitrage works. He can buy the price at Coinbase and sell at Binance and vice versa. Those market makers have flexibility to send, and they have even credit at the exchange, so they don't need to buy at the same time. So even a 0.2% arbitrage works if it's Tether versus the dollar. But when we're talking about a different foreign FX, such as CNY or Mexican pesos or Brazilian reais, you would require
we're losing him again.
the costs of transaction to cover tax and expenses.
I don't know what happened
A
there.
1% price
And these are
difference
live
in foreign
humans.
exchange markets in crypto
Imagine how
and
difficult it is for me, a drawing, to keep things
Very
going,
good.
to
Jordan
keep things
or
smooth,
Sam,
to
any
keep things
questions
moving
for Marcel
along.
today? And while you're watching today, if you have questions for Marcel, make sure you pop them into the chat now, and we will ask them for you. So, Jordan, any questions? We'll start out with you.
Is there a reason you think that they're kind of bringing the tether foot back around right now? I kind of think that, like, I see the exodus or the switch over to USDC a lot more. Maybe they're trying to push people into a more, I don't know, regulated or legitimate stablecoin, or setting up a future for a CBDC entry. What do you think is going on? Why the tether foot right now? If it looks kind of good in the background.
CBDC,
Yeah, it could be
centralized
USDC,
bank,
so
digital
circle
currency.
behind the FUD, like
Now,
to show, yeah,
that's
we are
one
regulated,
thing to
so
look at
exchanges
when it
should
comes
move
to
regulated
this.
stablecoins, so we are more
We're looking at are we actually it's a hope to do away and not be tied to these centralized banking systems that we have right now. Well, are we doing that, or are we actually creating the technology that will give the centralized banks and the governments total, because everything is recorded. Everything is recorded in the blockchain. You know where every friggin' transaction is in the blockchain. So this gives governments, this gives everybody total frickin' big brother over everything. It's not like these things are anonymous. So are they actually creating a decentralized answer, or are they setting up a framework and a for digital currencies for CBDCs? Is that what we're doing? Are we actually building the better mousetrap for the banks to use, because like we can see right now, nothing is a hedge. The dollar is what you want to be holding, is what everybody's holding now. Gold's not even hanging in there, so everything is falling apart. The future's still going to belong to whoever's got the most toys, and they're gonna are they just gonna jump right on and okay, here's our digital coin. Remember that was E Corp, Mr. Robot fans. Anybody watch Mr. Robot? E Corp. They had the E coin. They brought out the E coin. That's how they were going to deal with the fallout. Oh, this is a great opportunity to launch our E coin. You can now get paid in E coin. And the Fed was all mad. Does anybody remember that show? Great show. Rami Malek. He played a bad guy in a 007 film lately. He was in that Queen biopic, that Freddie Mercury thing. He was Freddie.
Whether or not it's backed, the system is working, as I showed the chart. So we cannot argue with that. If the market
I'll bring
is
them
paying
back
a
up
dollar
into
for
the mix.
Tether, it's worth $1.
I just wanted to rant a little. It's what I do.
So we saw it looked like Great Britain is coming out with a CBDC for the pound. Is there ever a situation, Marcel, where you see USDC being converted into some sort of CBDC? Would that be possible for the government to do that, or does the government have to have their own currency that they start like standalone?
Yeah, the government needs full control for the CBDC, which means they can revert transactions, they can block addresses, they can do whatever they want. So they cannot do that using a public blockchain such as Ethereum. So a CBDC cannot be converted to USDC or whatever, the inverse. They're completely different things. One thing is a cryptocurrency, the other is a CBDC, which is 100% centralized. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, when all your stuff is going through exchanges,
for slave,
and all of it is based on its value as the fiat currency,
Jordan Benton, Sam and Marcel, we all have accounts
centralized universe,
and the Fed can turn on or turn off our access to the CBDC because we now have an account basically with the Fed. So when slave coin happens, it'll be a very, very different phenomenon than stable coins. I think stable coins are actually a really good innovation, and their use cases have expanded a lot over the past few years. They were initially conceived as a way to give crypto traders access to liquidity because no one would bank crypto companies. But now they're used for remittances, for payments, etc. So as Marcel mentioned, two completely separate things.
Doesn't happen everywhere.
Very good. And I'm looking at the chat right now. We have Luscious. What are your guys' thoughts on Polkadot / Cosmos and IBC in general affecting the leveling of asset prices across markets? Do these particular projects have an impact at large? Let's see. Who wants to take this question first?
Don't everybody raise your hand at once.
Really affecting like the current state. They might they'll track the value when the market gets kind of bullish again and more people come in. But even I was the other day just kind of thinking like, what is the value proposition for a lot of these tokens? I love Cosmos especially, but why do I want to hold the token aside from staking? What's giving its value? Newbies don't necessarily ask these questions, but the older crypto folk definitely kind of focus on these things, and that's why everybody kind of eventually starts consolidating down to the top cryptocurrencies. But I think that they'll have their time in the sun in the next bull run. But even like with Polkadot especially, I don't know why you need to hold the Polkadot token when all these other chains operate with their own token and kind of you use the fees for that. So there's a lot of stuff to figure out and how this goes. So I don't know. I think that they will attract value, but are they going to throw off the balance of the market? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Polkadot with a $6.4 billion market cap, at Cosmos at $2.3 billion market cap. I don't think these are the shakers and movers right now with where we're kind of at. Sam, you had some thoughts to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, Polkadot and Cosmos are the least of our worries right now. Let's put it that way. They're the ones being affected. They're not the ones doing the affecting. So we're in a downtrend across the market that's going to affect these projects as well. You could say that they're going to have staying power. I think Polkadot will survive, for example, during the next cycle. Other chains may not.
Exactly. I'm very bullish on the Cosmos ecosystem thanks to Jordan's enlightenment with interoperability and what they are doing with IBC. I think it is definitely a long haul project, but for right now, I don't think it's impacting the entire space. That's yet to be determined. All right, folks, let's keep this show moving right along here because we have a very exciting segment. We're going to be talking about this contagion, what's been happening, this special interview that we have. We're going to play you a clip in just a few seconds from a special interview
Once
from
again,
Giovanni,
this is Market Report
CEO of Swan
from Cointelegraph, Cointelegraph.com. This is their every Tuesday at noon Eastern time. They have the Market Report. This is that show. I'm watching
go ahead
it now.
And check out the full video on our YouTube, but we're going to go ahead and play you a short clip and dive into some of the nuggets from this video. So Danilo, let's go ahead and run it back here.
I think there's also a really important lesson to hear, a lesson to learn for just crypto fans, not Bitcoiners, but the altcoins, the crypto people, is that a lot of the people that you think are super smart were just in the right place at the right time. They actually aren't that special. And they built a lot of these huge companies essentially because of this massive arbitrage of crypto being just outside of the reach of regulation at present, kind of like online gambling was in the aughts. And so, basically you just have these two factors of short time to liquidity, which means you can like pump something up and dump it on retail. And then this whole idea of like, we can make our own weather, which is kind of like what crypto VCs talk to each other about all the time. It means that unlike with actual securities, these securities that are just outside the reach of regulation today, they can market them willy-nilly. They can make trumped up promises about what they're going to be. They're seeing a lot of fortunes made from essentially like unethical, will soon be criminal activity, but they'll get away with it at present.
All right, folks, we've seen a lot of contagion floating around the space right now. Why are crypto platforms going bankrupt? Marcel, what's your take on what you're seeing kind of right now with all of the recent fallout?
Oh man, it's what I said earlier. Unsecured loans, when you give money away for a market maker or someone you believe it's essential for your business, like for instance, if you are a Voyager or Celsius and you think that 3AC is the best money manager in the world, so you simply send out $1 billion in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or stablecoin to them and say, okay, manage the money for us and give us like 8% per year, and we give away 6% for the clients, and we go off with 2% profit. It's very easy to trust someone and do this mistake. And exchanges have been doing this for the past 10 years since they were launched. And we've even saw an exchange lending money with no collateral, with no margin to Roger Ver, for example, which is a big cash founder.
Oh, that's crazy.
Figure.
Oh, what a bad financial move that was.
So crypto platforms are going bankrupt.
Shouldn't happen.
Because they're giving loans, unsecured loans, or not without collateral. So that's why they're failing.
And Jordan, what are some of the biggest lessons to learn from this entire kind of last 6 months, let's call it?
Don't put people on a pedestal. I used to be a therapist dealing with people's internal, like, we're all faulty humans, all right? I don't care if you're a president or whatnot. We're all going to make bad decisions. And like part of our wanting to succeed, we're willing to offset some of our risk to other people. Like, oh, this person's smarter than me. They know what they're doing. Let me put our money there. But no, they're people too. We're all kind of greedy at times. We get caught up in the FOMO of the situation. Crypto is still this new asset class that is making millionaires, but also bankrupting people. So yeah, people put way too much trust in some of these platforms, as Marcel mentioned, not even collateralizing some of these loans or something because they trust us so much, and we think that we're going to have this blow off top in crypto. So poor decisions, giving people way too much like credit or prestige, or thinking that they're not going to mess up in any kind of way, is what really gets us here. Nobody can really do anything all that much better than you in a lot of cases. So try and just manage your risk a little bit better and realize that people are faulty. Every person I've ever met is faulty. Don't put anybody on a pedestal, because I promise you they got their own shit in the closet that they don't want people to know about.
Jordan, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan,
Sam, how are regulators going to view everything that has happened, and how do you think this fallout of Celsius 3AC, how do you think that's going to impact future regulations?
Oh, this is a regulator's dream come true. I mean, they're chomping at the bit right now. They're going to love this. They're going to love coming in and taking, sweeping regulations across the industry. I think we're going to start to see that. I think that a lot of these different platforms really I think the accusation that they're operating basically Ponzi schemes, and
chat will get crazy
market,
now.
Something like Celsius, for example, is really good. They'll take your money, they put it into high risk DeFi protocols, then they generate yield for you. But what happens during a bear market? This is what happens. So I think they're going to start trumpeting up investor protection. And I guess they've been using that to block a spot Bitcoin ETF, which is a bit ridiculous. But I see more regulations coming into play. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out, but you're going to continue to see a major shakeup in the industry. For me, the most surprising element of the past 6 months is that you saw major crypto blue chips, or what were considered major crypto blue chips, go under. I mean, Three Arrows Capital was a huge name. And with that example, Jordan mentioned, don't put people on a pedestal. You had those guys that actually believed their own hype, and they did some ridiculous things during the bear market. Celsius, another major player, multi-billion-dollar valuation, multi-billion-dollar raises. You take a look at the Terra ecosystem and what it did. And the biggest lesson, of course, is that, you're in an exponential asset class. Bitcoin and crypto are exponential asset classes. Do you really want to risk it by putting your coins in a different platform for 5% yield when you're going to be making thousands of percent over the next decade? Doesn't really make any sense. So self-custody is really important. And in terms of the U.S. regulatory shakeup, it could really go either way. The only secure, I don't want to even use the word secure, but the safest bet is probably Bitcoin. And I say it's safe. I'm not saying it's completely safe. Nothing is completely safe. But I expect regulations to sweep in over the next foreseeable future.
While we're on this topic of Three Arrows Capital, Danilo, if you wouldn't mind sharing my screen. Jack, I found this really interesting tweet from Jack Nievold. Three Arrows Capital, after they got the loan from FTX, bought this NFT. So this was like part of, I think, the loan that they got, and it was just like, how is this possible after they got bailed out? And so like you kind of see what Sam was alluding to is like they were buying their own hype, and even after they got the loan from FTX, they were still doing some stuff that was just like highly questionable. So it's interesting times in the space, and one of the biggest things I think that we can take away from this time
that's how it is. That's how it is.
Security,
scammers,
and understanding how to mitigate
but
risk, in these types of environments.
That's what they do. They're going to keep scamming. I'm not saying these guys are scammers. I'm saying he was talking about the Three Arrows even after getting bailed out by FTX. But
you may not get your funds back. And so what is the best way and best methods to safeguard your crypto in these types of environments? Jordan, why don't you help us out here and give us some safety tips on how to safeguard your crypto?
Well, if you're just trying to safeguard your crypto, hardware wallets are definitely the safest way to go. Necessarily, if you want to hodl, like Sam said, you want your 1,000% over the years, just kind of put it in a wallet, set it and forget it. I always keep on mentioning, go outside, enjoy the sun, or do something. If you got a little cash and you want a dollar cost average, pull it off of that exchange and put it into your cardboard wallet and leave it there until you want to sell it in a few years.
That's some good advice right there. That's good advice.
Yeah.
Get outside and enjoy life.
Not your cryptos.
Life's too freaking short.
Mayor was out there every week trying to pump that, and all of a
sudden, what am I doing here? I'm sitting there animating this character.
I think we're all learning the value of holding on to your funds.
It's way too damn hot. I'm not going to go outside when it's being this hot.
Custody, Sam Marcel.
I'm watching this show.
Safety tips that you'd like to emphasize?
Gives me something to do. I'm learning.
Don't chase yields in this market. You have to look at the mechanics of what's actually being done. Don't aimlessly chase yields.
Listen.
I understand wanting to put money to work. I understand the appeal of passive income. But a lot of these different lending and borrowing platforms were basically Ponzi schemes, and they were taking your money,
Yep.
putting them in high risk
Yep.
investments. And yeah, in a bull market, that's all great. But when the novelty wears
Figure
off,
now is as good a
you're
time
left
as
holding
any.
the bag, or you're left
Be
unable
sure to click
withdraw.
that
So
like and subscribe.
be critical
And ring
of
that bell
anybody
so you
offering
know
you
so you know when
ridiculous
I'm
yields.
going live. And head over. The link is in the link is in
Anything else, Marcel?
the
I
chat.
just want to remember that even
Hey,
investors
it's
that
Nora the
DeFi
Stock
that
Explorer.
think
We're
that,
watching
oh,
all
no, I
this.
can
We're
be
watching all this
transparent,
go
I can
on
see where
over
the
here
money
at
is flowing,
Cointelegraph
so I'm
right
not
now.
gonna lose the
I'm
money.
watching the market
Anchor
report over
protocol
there. They
has
do
gone
this
down
every
with
Tuesday.
Luna and Tether. So
And
I don't
yeah,
think DeFi
yeah,
is
it's
a
me.
safe environment. Yes, you can diversify, you
Dun,
can
dun,
use a
dun,
little bit
dun,
of
dun,
that,
dun, dun.
but not more than 20%.
You got to
of the
remember to
money
put
should be
loop
part of
on that
DeFi.
StreamYard for that. Be right back. You got Michelle
High
today.
risk for the high rewards.
You got her. She was in the middle of dancing. You weren't even there. It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
One thing too, it's like hardware wallets versus self custody. Maybe like a software wallet, like an Exodus or a MetaMask. Do you guys have any preferences?
Yeah, I was laughing
in
because
how
she
you
was
like
really
to store
into
that
dancing
crypto?
to it too.
Or
And
what
I
may be
knew.
the
Oh,
safest
she
way,
didn't
as
hit
we all
loop.
know,
I
hardware
knew
wallets
it had
are
to be the case.
tried and true
I can
best
I
way
can
to
make
store
that
crypto, but
longer. We
any
can probably.
suggestions for
It
our
would still
audience
be under the
looking to do some
200 meg.
self-custody for their crypto?
We could
Jordan,
we
any,
could go to
any
a
Exodus was
minute
my
favorite
first
on that
wallet,
if you
and
wanted
I
it
like it because
longer.
it has such a good range of tokens that it supports. And
But
usually
we need to add.
they
We
kind
need
of
to
vet the
put some
projects that
other
they add
things
there.
on
So like
those.
good developers know good projects.
You know,
So
add
any project that's
add
on
your
there,
other
not all the
channel.
projects,
Add
but a lot of them are really
you know,
good
add
choices.
some
And you
other
can actually connect your
images
Trader
on
wallet
there.
to Exodus. So that's my go-to choice.
Just give some thought to what else you'd like to promote on those
Same with
screens,
Marcel.
and
Hardware
we'll
wallet,
add that on.
hardware wallet, and put it in your doomsday bunker, and that should leave you safer, right?
I would hate to, and
Marcel.
you've got your
I
stock.
think a hot wallet at
it's
iPhone
got to
or
be
Android
difficult
works, but
to
you
sit
need
there
the steel plate. You need
to sit there
to
and
write
have to be
down
talking
the
about this when
12
things are in
or
such a bear
24
market.
words in
I don't
steel
envy these guys having to
plate.
come out
So
here each
even if
week and
your
go, well,
device is lost,
things are
you have
kind
a
of,
backup.
well,
So
you
it's
know
more
how they
important
are.
that
We've
having
all
a
been
hot
watching it
wallet
happen.
is having the
And
steel
each week
plate
they've
for
got
you.
to come out here and do it. Each week.
Exactly.
Hey, I
The
appreciate
hardware
that.
wallets,
I appreciate that.
the paper wallets,
I mean,
or the
people
steel wallets.
people
like
show up
Marcel
and they're
said,
like,
always
"Who
the
is this
safest.
guy
Even
with
you
this
are
hair?"
even self
But,
custody with Exodus.
And
or
if they
MetaMask,
realize,
there's
is
still risk
he
you
actually
can fish.
live? Is
You
he
get sent an
talking
email,
live?
click on the wrong
Maybe
link.
this is
So
interesting.
again, those are kind of some of the risks with storing your own
And I'm
crypto. It's
watching
so
this
important.
show live.
With
I'm doing
great
this
power
stuff
comes
too,
great
right over
responsibility.
here.
Or did I flip that around and say that wrong? It's all right. Either way, you guys got the point. All right, let's get this
Yeah,
show on
you
the
got
road
to.
here.
You got to keep,
the markets
even on
for
the
a second
bad days,
blurry.
you got to
Two
be doing
coins that
something.
we
You
have
got to keep it
for
going.
you to watch.
But
that
no,
you should have been
Andy,
watching
I do want to
because
do
the
a
news quick alert
countdown
shot off this week,
screen.
and the
I
Vortex score
wanted
was
to
out
throw a whole
100
lot more
again
at
this
you,
week,
but
folks. So let's go ahead and
StreamYards,
dive into
you
some of the
know,
coins you should
they
have been
can't
watching.
use any of those other things. But it'll be good to throw them out there, and so we can make several versions of that. Be right
All right,
back
ONT,
and everything.
Ontology.
I'm
This week,
running
the news quick
OBS.
alert,
I'm
which
running
automates
OBS.
an alert
I'm using
instantly
OBS
to
and I'm using
users when
Character
marketing events
Animator
happen.
and
This one shot off.
NDI.
ONT saw a
I
bump
got all
in the
sorts of
price
things I've got
due to a partnership with
to
Seller on
make-
July 5th when
to make
ONT
this
was
guy
trading
work,
at 23
you
cents.
know,
A
so I can
Newsquake
be,
told Markets
oh,
Pro
look at
subscribers
me,
about
I'm
Ontology's
sitting here doing
implementation
this.
of bridging support via Seller Network C-Bridge. The price soon began to stabilize and then jumped to 27 cents. That's an
I
increase of
appreciate what you had done, and I
17.4%.
appreciate all the help
Big
in
gains
spreading the
with
word.
those Newsquake alerts.
So
Always love to see those.
you don't
The
worry
other
about
token
that.
that we were tracking
You
this
just,
week was RGT. This
you
one
just
shot
keep
off
being
a
a friend.
100 on the
And
Vortex score. Very,
I want to
very
do
rare
some. I want
score.
to.
A
I
score
want
of
to do
80 or
some more
above,
neat graphics
considered
for you. So,
confidently bullish,
Andy,
conversely,
let's make
30
a
or
couple
below
of those.
indicates
Be right
historical
back,
bearish
and
conditions.
maybe
And so what
eventually.
happened? Well, earlier this week,
I'd like to
RGT
have.
saw a steady high
I do have a pretty
Vortex score
powerful
that held
PC.
a rare 100.
But eventually, I'd like to
Screens
have.
started
I'd like
flashing
to
when the
have
token was trading at
a
411.
couple of those. Be right back, and I'd like to do that song. I'd like to do the where we have a bear and a bull
that is
and all
huge. And if you
Oh.
would have had Markets Pro,
Hang on, I'm talking. I'm going to turn him down. He's just talking. Oh, and those work. I've just been getting into the going to the shout outs, going into the different chats that are going on and stuff. There's just so much work. There's so much work doing these animations and keeping these characters going and everything. Did you see the PB and J review I did this morning? I saw a guy. I saw a guy do a review on homemade meatloaf. He didn't tell you how he made it or anything. He had a review on homemade meatloaf. And, oh, this is my meatloaf, and it was like a 7-minute, I don't know, 5 to 7 minute review. First he ate the meatloaf, and then he ate the mashed potatoes, and he told us they were good. And I thought, shit, I gotta do one of these. I'm gonna go make a peanut butter sandwich. And so I went on into the kitchen and I made a peanut butter sandwich, and people have disliked that today already. It's wonderful. All I did, I made a peanut butter sandwich. Dislike. Screw you, guy. We don't need you around. I just don't know how these guys do it each week.
As we talked about before, and Sam mentioned social tokens as well.
I know. I see some of the things, and it's like, well, that's why earlier it was, well, I'm gonna film this real quick. It took me like 20 minutes to throw together, and I was actually happy with the edit, because filming and everything, it didn't take long at all to do. So I was pleased that I got that done, but and trolls. Trolls. I see them all around. Bear markets are for accumulation. You know who's doing that? The whales. The whales that are feeding on everybody coming out of the shitcoins. It's a disaster, man. It is really a disaster. I blame myself. The real downturn happened in the crypto at the same time that I got into it. That I was like, because years, like a decade ago, I had Bitcoin. I made some purchases and everything, and the 13 cents that I had was suddenly $15 or something, and that was after the price had come down. I'd forgotten I'd even had it.
So think about it. How can
But yeah, back when I think I had a couple $100 of Bitcoin back when it was $700 a coin. Didn't get nothing. Spent it, before anything could happen. And then right when I got back into it, boom, there goes the market. Boom, hit the bottom, hit the freaking bottom. I think it's gonna go further down. I think it's gonna drop even further. I think the crypto's gonna end up. The whales are feeding in that 2022 range. I think we could see 14, because they'll think, well, people will think 14's a bottom. Let's feed from 14 to 16.5. Because they're just moving it and taking all the retail that is shedding out of the shitcoins and moving to Bitcoin and then losing their ass, and then I'm getting out.
It looks like the last person here that did it, it was 5 a.m. at F1V, 3 a.m.
F1V, they're giving away the $100 Market App Pro, Markets Pro subscription. I didn't bother to put my Twitter handle in there because they just gave it away because you'd have to have money to be able to take advantage of the Markets Pro. You'd need money. Man, day trading I was doing, but I'm staying up all night to keep up with it. I'm staying up all night. It's a great program. Let me make sure for anybody else. The Markets Pro, the market report over on Cointelegraph, Cointelegraph.com. This is their YouTube channel. Every Tuesday noon. They're not a sponsor. Nobody's a sponsor. I just like this show. They got another show on that a guy. I think the guy's name is Jed. I think his name is Jed or Jeb. But they got a Thursday show too. I haven't been able to catch it live, but he seems a little I don't know. He seems a little bit too into it. I feel like he just got out of doing car sales and decided he was gonna do a show. He used to sell cars, and then it's I'm gonna bring my talents. I'm gonna bring my talents over to the mic, and I'm gonna do podcasts on crypto, and that's what the guy was doing. But really, the car sales come out. I notice it all the time. Yeah, the sitting out. I think it's going to be a rough one. I think things, day trading, I was doing that, but the moves were happening. I was staying up till 5 and then going to bed, and the move I'd been waiting on all night, that it was like it should be happening. I mean, I thought it won. It was gonna, and the move that half hour after I go to bed, boom, there it is. I missed it. Okay, I guess I wait for the next one, and it was just too much. Oh, a lot of. There's so many. Back in the '90s, I used to be a computer programmer, and we did custom software for multi-level marketing companies, and you got to understand, you got to see the Ponzi, you got to see the scam, you got to see these. We had customers. One of our customers, Latvian mafia. It was the Russian mafia. Oh, I sound like an idiot. It was the Russian mafia that they were, after the collapse and everything, they were really the ones that held things together in Russia. They were the ones that got the social services going, got everything else, but they also acquired all, ownership of everything. And so that was, you see what's going on. You see what's going on, and you can see how it's just you can see how well you've got to keep them going in the door. Another thing that I see right now is the pay to play with the games, and they had kind of touched on it. Play to get paid, pay to where you're actually playing a game, and the more you play, well, you earn coin. Well, the only way you're earning coin is when new people come in the door. Bernie Madoff, well, he went to prison. Is he dead now? I don't know. Or he's at least still in prison. But it's a Ponzi, and so many of these, it only keeps going up if you've got new people coming in, and you got to have that retail money coming in and so forth, and all these pump and dumps, and there's so many of those. When it's such an awesome technology, the blockchain, the concept of Bitcoin, it's really just it's amazing, but now it's just glutted with all that. I thought about, if I weren't a guy with scruples, I'd be, let me find some people and let me go ahead and start my own coin. I mean, I can write code. The code's all open source. You can just download that code. You can, let me go ahead and get my own coin going. And that's where the real money is. Because I've got mine. I'm whitelisted. Here we go. And boom, everybody. And now I'm out. But I have scruples. I'm not a guy that, the same. When you apply all those same logical things to the U.S. dollar, it's all a scam. Everything in our world, what in our world that isn't, eating and shitting isn't some man-made thing that we're just deciding is important. Everything's outside of it. So really, if you look at it, this is all a fake existence. I have no idea. I know you die, so I try to have fun. I'm just trying to bring laughs. The only thing that has value to me is, it truly is laughter. I mean, I love my kids. I love it's not like I'm some monster or anything like that. But the laugh, if I can make people laugh, I feel like, there's value there. I did something good. Because I don't know how to cure cancer. I don't know how to do a lot of other things. I'm not going to be focused on any of those things. It's too late in life to try to. So I'm just going that other route. Oh, it's totally. It's totally. When you can just decide, let's just print more. Let's just print more. It has no meaning. The money has. Who was it? Was it Nixon took us off the gold standard? Which, okay. We don't even know how much gold is in there. Everything if you look, nothing has been. We are completely in an oligarchy that's just bleeding us dry. We got taken off the gold standard. Federal reserves, those banks, those SOBs that just control it all and have it all. The right now, I have a scene set up where I can turn off the overlay. Oh, if I can read, that's going to be the issue, being able to see all the different things. I've got my overlay somewhere up here. It's not the default output. It's not that. There. I've got my overlay. That's an animation. That in itself is one of the animations. The overlay that has the oh, and I'll never find it again. There we go. Was this the same one? And then I've got text items that I've created. Oh geez, let me just bring this over here and give you that whole the only thing that there's a camera coming in, which is my character that I green screen out. It's coming over from NDI. OBS, setting OBS. It's a lot of you gotta. The one thing about, if you're gonna have people coming in, and I want to start using StreamYard for the times when I want to have callers, because it's just set up so nice and easy to do. This works when I'm not having callers, but I have to go through all sorts of things to separate. The biggest headache is separating my audio. Separating my audio, I have to use a separate program, Voicemeeter Banana, that allows me to make it so that my audio can be heard by the people in OBS Ninja. That is what I use to connect callers to. And oh, the chat, I could put the chat on the screen too, I'm pretty sure. There we go. I haven't moved it into a better spot. Let's see if I have it here. This is one thing that I did find that I can go through and do that sort of thing. So you do all the different stuff you can end up doing in here. It's just not as easy and as straightforward. But the files, in order to make your show have all this animation and have all these other things, they're bigger files, and you would never, if you were StreamYards, you don't want those big ass files. You don't want to have to store them. You don't want to have to process them with your video processor or any of that stuff. So it totally makes sense to me that they do it that way. But I've got the chat running right inside of OBS, so I can see it and I can actually respond with it. So they've got a lot of stuff with it. In order to do those things with StreamYard, you've got to have the paid plan. And you wouldn't be able to have backgrounds with motion, and you wouldn't be able to have motion in your overlays, but you can have animated GIFs. You can have animations that are under a certain size, and those can have animation. You were running something, but I wasn't sure how you the alerts. Now I have not gotten into the alerts that they have. There are alerts, and I know Streamlabs. I know there are Streamlabs alerts that you can do to pull those on. OBS, you can end up getting alerts. It's just the thing with OBS is you have to go out and find the tool. Streamlabs has all the tools in it, but it'll eat your machine alive when it comes to the processing, and so I wouldn't be able to do something like run character animator over here with my character in it or do any of the animating and the other work. Okay, yeah. Streamlabs just use it. It has everything built in. It and OBS are basically the same. It's just got everything in it. OBS is the bare bones, and then you add what you want into it. Oh, go right ahead. I'm just hanging out. I'm not sure how long. I was just coming in to see this show that I was running. I'm gonna make a quick run to my hey, look, whatever they're putting out, breaking the ice. Can you believe it? I did not think breaking the ice would ever get put out, but they're actually putting that out a little bit in the shorts feed. Still not hitting any big numbers in the shorts feed, and people do not like. There's 6 likes and 5 dislikes. It's running neck and neck. I don't even want to see what comments. People may be... Well, there may actually be some comments. It looks like it's possible that there's some comments. But do I want to know? I don't think so. I don't think that's in my best interest. Where is that? This is here. I'm going to take a look at YouTube Studio over here and see if it has sent any of these out anymore. Nope, we're at the... I think we're at the point where it's done sending this out for the day. And I'm gonna watch it. I just like it. It made me laugh. I'm gonna give myself a view. It's always important to give yourself views. Let yourself know that you matter. You know, click like on yourself. Oh, I see things are going on. Here we go. Let's watch this thing. Oh, and I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything because it's muted up here. There we go. I found where the mute was. Nice. You can see peanut butter. You can see jelly. This is rocket science. Bon appetit. Smells like bread. Peanut butter. And jelly. This was I think this was 5 a.m. I filmed this. And just walked away. Chestnut Hill. PB&J Stripes. Just walked away. So I'm not getting any more action over there. PB&J, it got to 80. It's the biggest thing I've got going. Well, no. The Doom. Crypto Purge Doom is 94. Well, actually, it's 97. It came out at the beginning of this period. But we'll see. We'll see. TikTok? Has TikTok decided to send anything out more? No. We'd have to upload another one. And that's probably what I'm going to do. Probably going to end up using the character and coming up with... use one of our other characters. And get a... I've got Corny, but I don't want to bother with Corny. No, but I'm going to get a couple of our other characters, and we may end up going live on our other page over on We Enjoy Every Day. Might end up doing that Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. I considered doing it early this morning to use StreamYards to just as a practice and everything. Phone calls are important. Phone calls are always important. We're probably gonna do another short since that's not getting too much notice, but we're at least getting put out. I gotta thank them for at least doing some. swap playlists. I'm not sure if I know what swap playlist. Swap playlist. I'll run your playlist. Oh, yeah. At any time. Anything that you need to, if you've got something that you've got to do. Oh, got it. Yes, we can definitely do that. I could have used that this morning. I could have used that as an idea this morning because I got done with your videos, and then I went over and I made the new header banners for my socials, and then I was just kind of, I went over and watched a couple of videos, watching some videos from pages I'd subscribed to, but then saw the one and decided to do that review video. Okay. I think I'm gonna bail. I think I'm gonna bail now because so I can get ready to run something different this afternoon, and I do have to hit the store because I'm probably gonna hit a brick wall around 5 and not wake up until about 9 tonight. Because I've been going at it. I've been going at it here, just coffee and work. But definitely we need to get with me too. Get with me about putting together some other items on some of those things. And if you're gonna be throwing some things into Streamlabs, now Streamlabs, you can use those MOV files, those other files, those stingers, and those things, if you're creating stuff there. And that, get that set up so you can test drive some of those things, and you can send that to a record too, as opposed, it'll allow you to just straight record. Of course, all of them do. They all have that ability. I was working last night, and I was pulling something, and I was recording while I was streaming because I wanted to get an image out of what I was streaming, and I hit the stop streaming button instead of the stop recording. Killed the stream. Had no idea. Kept talking. Realized what I'd done, and kept working a little bit and narrating the whole time, just not even realizing I wasn't even live. So it was one of those. It was one of those. The animated beaver would be cool too. That would be a fun one. That I especially like cartoon characters and all that. I'm gonna get out here. Let me know when you've got time to test that thing and everything when you're working on that. And I'm gonna bring myself, skate on into the middle here, and let me bring myself to another one of my screens here as I get ready to sway on off. Here we go. How are there 5? Are there 5 viewers? I don't even see how. If you're new, I am live. I am sitting here working. There is a guy reading this chat. There is a guy talking, waving his arms. This here I'm gonna do. I call this one slapping my ass. That's what I call this one. Other people say it's a wave, but I call it slapping my ass. Let me move myself over here. I love my MIDI controller. It lets me do everything I want over here. It's just so much fun. But click that like and subscribe, all those other things. Click that bell. If you or anyone you needs any kind of awesome backgrounds, awesome animations, just if it's graphics, if it's even the music, even if you need anything written, give me a call. Let's make that happen. Let's make that happen, because I'm one of those starving artists. I got a cartoon, but I gotta bring these talents to the marketplace. I gotta find a way to fund that cartoon and not have to go pawn the guitar. Oh, I hate pawning guitars. That's just no fun. It's absolutely no fun. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hit it, Nora. Nora, hey, and anybody that's out there, the Stock Explorer, hit up her channel. Hit up that channel. Go out there, give her a subscribe. Check out some of those videos. She's running live. I play bass. I play. If you're here, yeah, I'll indulge. I'm gonna do something crazy right now. Do I play bass? I'm gonna show you the crazy guy with the mohawk. You've never seen a person with a mohawk and sideburns. Of course, you might not be able to see it now either. Oh, where is the channel? Bandits. You were talking about Bandits earlier. Bandits band, and let's go Killing in the Name of. I think we do a don't know if you're familiar with Killing in the Name of. Yes, I can do. I do jingles. I've done. We had the Stream Surf song that you heard. A lot of those we just recorded. Movie night. We did a theme song and video for movie night. I don't know if you saw the popcorn, the dancing popcorn and stuff. I didn't do the jingle on that one though. Bandits Band. This was another cartoon that I did back in 2008, actually, and we'll do so you can see me. I'll do Killing in the Name of. This is actually from the drop. No, it's not. Here we go. I don't know if you can see the guy with the mohawk there. That's me. Yeah, that, subscribe. It's worth it. It's totally worth it. We all know this song, but that was me playing bass in a band with a mohawk with sideburns. I had never seen anybody with that, and so I decided to do that. Yeah, we've got over here to my right, there's the drum set, there's 4 guitars, there's a bass. I wanted those girls of mine to have all the instruments around in case they wanted to learn them. The youngest does a lot on the keys. Both of them have natural talent. Both of them could be playing. I don't push them, and neither of them push themselves. They're doing other things. They're doing art. As long as they don't have to do what I'm making them do. I don't make them do stuff. They follow your passion. We just try to make sure the art supplies are here and everything else. But it's kind of disappointing because I really would love to have that family band thing going. But we play. I write. I've written music for years. Yeah, the youngest one is probably on her tablet. That's the youngest one is probably sitting on a tablet right now. They go to school online. It's just too hot outside right now. We've got 5 acres, so there's room for them to play and everything. But it's just too hot. It's the world's on fire. I mean, this friggin' heat is a little bit much. The girls are. I've got great kids. That is one. Everything else can be going absolutely to crap, but those kids keep everything going. I wouldn't want to be in Florida right now. The difference, the one thing that is a saving grace about, I'm up in Kentucky. the heat's getting up there to where it's almost 100, and then well over 100 with the heat index. It's never the humidity that it was in Florida. It's never the humidity. You were saying you had a couple days off. You were saying that you had some time and everything. And that Florida humidity, I couldn't take it. That was a bit much for me. That was when I first got a mohawk, just because I can't handle this heat. I had to cut my hair and ride a motorcycle around because it was too much. It was too much. But it's not that way here. That's the one nice thing. It's always nice and easy here. It'll be hot, but I'm never dripping with sweat. I'm never just dying the moment. It's so much drier than it is down there. My brother's got one of those. My brother's got he works at a place that it's a t-shirt factory, basically. I won't say the name, but they handle shirts for movies, for Disney, for merchandise for bigger companies, and they've got a big operation, and there's no AC in that building, and he's lugging boxes around, and it's well up in above 100 in that place. You do adjust to it, but you never get happy with it. You never get that Florida humidity is just, it's too much. But the nice thing is, hey, what do you got? 10 more years? 15? Sea rise? You'll move. Everybody's gonna move. I got family that's down on the coast there. Oh, you're gonna move. You're not gonna have these places, right? Yeah, he comes home dying. My brother, he gets home dying every day. He and his wife live on the property here. They've got a place right next door to our house, and he comes home just dying, and he's 8 years younger than me, which is sad, because I think life's hitting him harder than it did me at that age, and so I don't know. Moving's always a good thing. Moving means change, and change is what you make of it, but it can always be good. I'm not saying change can't be bad, but you make the most of it and everything kind of goes okay. I'd love to move, but I don't know where. I'd love to move because of laws, because I'm in a very conservative area, and I'm not the most conservative person, and so I'd like to live in an area that is a little less conservative, but I want to be in the country, but I also want to go somewhere where maybe it's not going to be 100. Oh, I hit that stupid button. It was an earbud mistake. Hit the button on the earbud and it starts up the video. So we haven't decided or anything. I have no idea. I just have no idea. Oh, I love it when I can see one of my thumbnails. They catch my eye and I go, yay. Well, I'm gonna roll. Nora, you enjoy. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense down there, and it's where I'm at in the country. We've only had legal liquor sales for about 8 years in this county. It was within the last decade, maybe 8 years ago, that alcohol sales became legal. So my hope for anything else to become legal is like, no, well, maybe if I live that long. Hey, you have a good one. I'm gonna crash out for a little bit this afternoon. I've got to hit the store first, Bill. Thank you for swinging by, and I love seeing that stuff this morning. Enjoyed your stream. Everybody, get over there to the Stock Explorer and subscribe, give her a like, and check out the videos. It's a really It's a great vibe, and it's a great community over in the chats and everything, and you will not be disappointed. Thank you, Nora. You enjoy the rest of this afternoon and get into thinking what other items you want to put on some Be Right Back and some of those other things, and we'll get some of those made. Everybody, have yourself a wonderful Tuesday. I will catch you all later.